Hi, welcome. Thank you for taking the time out to be with me. Could you introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, I'm a gay person living in Bergen County, and I feel there is a need for a center to help people of all ages, a place where they can come and feel safe, because there are um, churches and stuff that don't make you feel safe, and some people are not religious and don't want to go to church and feel they would be pressured.
Okay.
And so it's something that's not related to a church, but may have people from a church help out.
Mhm.
It's something that I think we need.
So you were talking before we started taping about some experiences you had. Can you tell me again that experience so people can understand what you mean by churches?
Well, um, I had left the church up in Dover and stopped going to church. And then after my partner passed away in 19, I went looking for a church. And in 2019, I went to a church in New Milford that basically um, was the church type of church I wanted. But when I told them about myself, they basically said, "This church is not for you."
And who was the one that told you that the church wasn't for you?
I believe it was the pastor,
Okay.
and and then I went back to the church that I was confirmed in, and I went there. I saw one person that the last name, and when I spoke to them and told people about myself, everybody was open and stuff. And that person was related to the old pastor who confirmed me, and I just feel so comfortable there, so open. And that particular church, even going back in the '60s,
Hmm.
was diversified.
That's
Every
awesome.
whatever you were welcome. And basically, some people don't want to go to a church, so they feel funny, they feel afraid. So a community center or something like that would be, I think, something that is needed.
Yeah. And
It
what
may
why would
help people get
what
open up and come out, and it'll help stop the stereotype of that they are evil or have whatever people think.
yeah, exactly. And so let me ask you this: church is important to you so you can socialize as well as be around other people. Do you have a lot of community that you or a lot of support network around you right now?
Basically, the only support I have around me is my church and my one son.
Okay. So I mean that's you see that's one of the major issues for LGBT people, certainly when they're young and when they're older, is the isolation, not being around other people and not having access to part of your community and that support. So, do you think having some kind of center that was a physical place where you can go to would be useful for you and would something you would frequent?
Yeah,
Awesome. So,
and because basically I
yeah,
am a church goer, so every time there's a church service, I'm there, and I'm also there for the fellowship.
yeah, exactly. And then part of the stuff we're looking at is all the different religious faiths in Bergen County that are accepting, and I'm not going to get all of them. I don't know all of them, um, but we have a couple of them right here in our own backyard, close to me, that are very, very open. And I want to make that clear that there's lots of churches and people that do support LGBT people, and so people like you, where it's very important, they need to know where they are so they don't have negative experiences like you had. And that's why the resource center is so important, to connect you to those sources. So before we wrap up, do you have any other things that you would like to talk about, or do you have any questions for me?
No,
Okay. So, do you feel comfortable with everything that you talked about here?
Yes,
And do you you know this is being recorded and to be used on a web page after the fact? Do you give consent to that?
yes, yes.
Awesome. And I just want to say thank you for having the courage to come out and talk to me and to tell your story. I know that's not an easy thing to talk about, and about isolation and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna end the recording if you want to say goodbye.
Goodbye.